Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We're from Group 2. The members are me, Edwin, Griseldis, and Ika. And in this occasion, we would like to discuss about Design Meeting Context, a general English course for Burmese adults. It was written by Kathy Julian and Derek Foster. The second slide here. We have sub-points that we are now trying to discuss. The first sub-point is about Burma and its diaspora, a snapshot. The second sub-point is about the curriculum project and general English. The third sub-point is about environment analysis. The fourth sub-point is about needs analysis. The fifth one is implementation. And the last one, or the sixth one, is future direction. Okay, so I'm trying to discuss about the first point. It's about Burma and its diaspora, a snapshot. Burma has been ruled by a military regime since the 1960s. Burma is like war conflict-based country. So the keyword here is about the diaspora. Diaspora is like a group of people who try to move to another district. Like here, if I'm not mistaken, they try to move to Thailand. Because of this kind of conflict, the war conflict, if we're trying to discuss about language teaching, the thing that the most important, or the thing that we have to pay attention here, or they have to pay attention, is the context. So the context here is like the core of language teaching. What is meant by the context is like the context where they have such kind of different situation and environment or anything, because they have such kind of war conflict. In designing a course, we have to pay attention on the approach, methodology, materials, and resources. But most of publishers over there ignore this kind of context. Apparently, the students and teachers in the rural area really need this kind of context-based approach actually. But, however, because of the lack of capacity in developing the curriculum, they prefer to have the cheaper one that might not be suitable or appropriate with the situation in real life. Actually, as I said before, that the available materials and methodology are mostly not appropriate for their situation. That's why the writers try to emphasize on the use of context here. The next slide here is about the curriculum project and general English. The curriculum project was formed in 2001 to develop the curricula. For information, the curricula is like the plural of curriculum. Curriculum is the singular and curricula is the plural. Materials and teacher training to meet the needs for adult and post-secondary students from Burma. The third slide here, it's about environment analysis. So it's really important, it's really significant for them at that time to analyze the environment, which they can conclude, which they can take or draw the conclusion for the context of language teaching. Because as I said before, that they have to pay attention on the context of the nation or the country where at that time the conflict happened. To achieve appropriacy, we must investigate, try to understand, and then address whichever social context we are working on. It was stated by Holiday 1994. Actually, because of this kind of war or conflict, it's a bit difficult, or it's totally difficult to learn to teach English at that time. However, on the other hand, they're supposed to have English as their basic skill, not something extraordinary, or it's no longer a variant language, but it is called as lingua franca, or it's like colloquial language or daily conversation. Actually, the political, economical, and educational factors make the English context here worse. They do not give the support, or they do not support for the development of English language teaching. But in their situation, they're supposed to master English.
Okay, the next is environment analysis. There are questions asked in environment analysis. There are student factors, teacher factors, situation factors, and project factors. For students factors, including some common characteristic of students, they are having acquired an upper elementary of English. Second, being familiar with grammar or translation methodology with an emphasis on rote learning. The third, having had limited exposure to the world beyond and Burma or the border. Then for teacher factors, there are 4 loose categories for teachers in Burma. First, career education aiming for best practice in their teaching. Second, those who are not teaching by choice. Third, experienced teachers who are skeptical of modern methodology. The last is foreigners. There are volunteers or employees. Okay, for situation factors, there are 3 situation factors. First, small classes operating from teacher houses. Second, very large free or low-cost community-based class. The last, course offered by international organizations such as the British Council. Then for project factors, the curriculum projects is branch of Taipei Education Network, which work to build the capacity of individuals within marginalized groups for all Myanmar's nationalities. There are the project factors. First draft of the course were researched, compiled, and implemented by one person with assistance from 2 other project staff primarily. Third draft of project had acquired sufficient funding for an editor, a part-time illustrator, and outreach worker. The next is needs analysis. There are kind of needs analysis. There are aim and methods, key results, and challenges in understanding the context. The needs assess primarily to identify the gap between what students are able to do and what they need to be able to do. This information will inform of design of our own materials. And the aims were to determine the extent to which existing courses adequately address these needs and to provide us with evidence to justify our choice of language, skills, and content. And for the methods, there are teachers and students questionnaires, observing trainees, observing classes, team teachings, examining the sample of students' work, gathering and analysis the written test, interviewing between teacher and students, analyzing textbooks, and surveying the available academic literature on relevant pictures. And for key results, the prior learning usually focuses on reading and writing with an emphasis on correct production of grammatical forms. Then for challenges in understanding the context, the researcher got some examples of experts. There are students who have finished 10th standard should be studying at upper intermediate level. They have already done the present simple tense. They need to learn harder tenses. And we need international level English so students can get into international universities. That means after the students can understand the material, the teacher hope the students can improve their skills to be better in order to into the higher levels.
Assalamualaikum, I am Ika. I will continue this presentation about implementation. There is 4 kind of implementation. First, principles. Underlying principles behind the development of general English were informed as far as possible by relevant research and experts' opinion, particularly Nation and McAllister 210 Brown 201 Koningsworth 1999, motivated by the specific needs and operating environment of the target audience. And then second, content and squeezing. As a result of this principle and needs and environment analysis, the following decisions about the content of the course were made. And then the third, course format. Cost was a key factor in design. Most programs CP works with have limited funding, and CP has relatively small budget to give sets of program for free. And then the fourth, about concerns. While the project can be considered a success overall, the finished product has a number of shortcomings. And then the last, about future direction. Teacher support training and evaluation of general English pre-intermediate are ongoing with a few third pre-edit when funding and project resources allow. That's all. Thank you.